Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. One of my favorite segments of the broadcast week is Fridays at 9 o'clock. Jim George comes in here and we just have fun. Jim has lots of information. Let me ask you if you would like to call in, because whether we stay on topic or not is questionable. But Jim is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to gadgets, electronics, cable TV, antennas for your TV, ways to make the TV get better reception. I don't know if that's even applicable anymore in today's world. But if you have a question about your device, your TV, your computer, that kind of thing, Jim is here for that. Otherwise, Robin and I are going to be all over the map. That's why he's the professor of the universe.
It's true.
Well, it's another beautiful day in downtown Ocala.
It is.
It is.
Speaking of downtown Ocala, how is the... Are you done with that job down there? The one you were doing with the visitor center?
Yep, done.
Ah.
Now, they probably have another request fairly soon to do the downstairs floor. We did everything.
Oh.
We did the first floor.
What is in the visitor? Is it open yet?
Oh, yes.
What is in there, actually?
Well, there's a tourism part, so it's a visitor center where you can go in and it's sort of like a Chamber of Commerce on steroids. So they'll tell you not only what events are taking place, but they can give you calendars and maps, like little unknown secrets, like did you know Ocala has 600 lakes?
No.
No.
Did not know that.
No, I did not.
They can point out every single lake we have. They can tell you where all the dams are. They can tell you where all the reservoirs are.
How many dams do we have?
That I did not memorize. I'm sorry. I think we have 13.
Oh,
Damn.
my. Wow.
Yeah. You know, well, we block the water on purpose to manage the water. So the lakes stay full, but at the same time, you can have a spillway. And we call that spillway, of course, a dam.
Oh.
But there's all kind of stuff they do in there. And then right next to that is the ad litem, the Guardian ad litem.
Oh, right.
You know, where the
Two
ladies-
totally different missions, right?
It is. It is.
Two totally different things.
They've actually opened a back door, you might say, another door to the facility so that Guardian ad litem can be totally separate from the chamber so that you can't cross over. I mean, I'm sure there is a door.
Are they calling it the chamber, or was that just you calling it that?
Well, I'm calling it. Yeah,
okay.
It's just a tourism. But downstairs, I forget what's supposed to be there, but it has to do with Marion County legal
So this
practices.
is like a great spot considering there's a hotel going up.
It is.
Because somebody staying at that hotel who is truly a tourist will just have to walk across the street and get information.
Right. Or they can go north and get that, or they can go south to the chamber itself. And the chamber itself will have similar maps, you know, see Silver Springs, do this,
Okay.
do that, you know.
Does the tourism place have a wider scope? Like, do they include Orlando and Tampa, or is it just Ocala?
Well, that I haven't been in it since it's been completed, but the old one did have everything. It told you it told you the hours of operation of many businesses.
I'm
like
gonna go in there.
Orlando.
I'm gonna go check it out. See
Got a
what.
nice parking lot. You know, it's between the courthouse and Silver Springs, or in this case, State Road 40, Silver Springs.
I like being a tourist in my own
Yeah, walk
area.
in there and say,
I don't have to travel far. I'm here.
right. Yeah, I went into AAA yesterday and got my photo taken for
Oh, you
my
did?
passport.
For your passport.
But the lady
Nice.
said, "Don't smile." I said,
That's right. They don't want you to smile.
Don't smile.
And you can't wear your glasses.
Be gloomy. Yeah. So I said, okay.
And you're going to use that when?
22nd of February.
Wow.
Yep.
Is it exciting?
I'm going Norwegian Air.
Oh, okay.
What? They don't have a Delta or an Eastern. I have to go Norwegian airline to get there.
How many hours did they say?
It's a little over 8.
Oh, so you have a sleeper?
Well, no, I'm going to be a sleeper. But
You'll be a
I
sleeper.
didn't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
they had a sleeping
my
compartment.
wife gets so mad at me because I can fall asleep anywhere. I mean, even the VA says, we need to test you for this and test you for that because you can, I could be in the waiting room and fall asleep. And I said, when you spent 14 months in Vietnam, you learn to catch sleep whenever you can. So I can sleep anywhere. I'll lean against that wall over there and fall asleep.
If I'm in a waiting room at a doctor's office, I'm out.
Yeah.
If I'm in a church during a sermon, I'm out. I just
Oh, boy, here it comes.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I used to go to church with my mom, and my niece would be there, and she would elbow me all the time. Uncle Larry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'd have conference calls, and my partners would be around the table, and we'd be doing a conference call to some manufacturers, and they'd say, "What's that noise?" And I'd say, "Oh, that's Jim. He's snoring." I said, right in the middle of the conference call, I fall asleep.
Wow.
You know? No, I can fall asleep anywhere.
So the doctors want to check you, see why you fall asleep?
Well, they have several times. I just tell them that's a clean conscience. When you have a clean conscience, you can fall asleep anywhere. You
Oh, I
guys that
love
have
that.
to worry about things, you just keep worrying about them. I don't worry
Yes,
about
I
them.
like that
love that.
answer. It's a
Yeah.
good answer.
So when you get your passport photo, did you have a passport photo without your beard, and now that you have a beard, you have to have?
No,
a
I've
new
always,
one?
ever since I've used my pass, I had a beard right out of the service. I had a beard before the service, got drafted, of course, had to shave it off, came out, and I've only had the beard off one time since I've been married, and I've been married 44 years.
Congratulations.
And my wife said, shave it off. I mean,
Grow it back.
grow it back. I said,
Oh,
okay.
my.
Oh, I have a beard question for you,
Here it comes.
and a technological question.
Okay.
I have face recognition on my iPad, and I've been growing facial hair. Will it know me if I shave it off?
I believe it will. Because it's not looking at just the clean skin. It's looking at everything, the hair. Now, I guess if you were to shave your head and grow a beard, it may not recognize you.
Oh my!
I wonder if I should try it without my glasses.
I was going
on.
to say the same thing. Did you have glasses on?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, you could fool it. You could actually do that now. Put a cap on and say bonsoir.
Who are you? Yeah. I don't know you.
I have this one Canadian guy. I service his mobile home park, and every time he calls, I go bonsoir.
And is that where technology is going now? Facial recognition for everything, for like your front door locks and all of that.
Yeah, it's just a little spooky because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's as simple as that. Everything from power steering, power brakes. I mean, you name it, something can go wrong.
That's
with it.
right. I know.
So, the good old days of having manual shift and all that kind of stuff, and most people who have those kind of vehicles and that kind of technology, they don't want to change. I mean, how many times have you had your VCR flash at you in the past, and you'd have to go check it? But the power glitches just for a microsecond. That's
Yes.
all it took.
Yeah, yeah.
Your lights didn't even go off, or
Yeah.
they may have blinked,
Right.
and yet everything in your house is blinking.
Yeah.
And that's what you're relying on to wake you up in the morning, is something like that? No.
Oh my gosh!
So you ready for a phone call?
I am ready for a phone
Good
call.
morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and Jim.
Yes.
Say, several years back, the last time I got a passport, it was $50 for 5 years. Has that changed any?
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I think it's a little over 200. And
Oh, my God.
And if I want it like within 2 weeks, I got to pay like another $50. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to pay because now the friend of mine that's going with me, he just drove down to Miami. He said, "I'll just take a day." He's a.
Oh, they do it right away down there?
Yeah, you drive in, you give
Oh.
them your birth certificate, or you give them your old passport. They take the picture right then and there, and you walk out.
Really?
There's an embassy there, so you walk in and get your, it's better than going to Washington D.C.
Oh sure.
Yeah, go to
didn't know
Miami.
that.
Interesting.
It would,
How long is the passport good for nowadays?
10 years.
10 years now. Okay. So you're saying, like in Miami, if you take your old passport, you can get that renewed?
Well, it's renewable if it's not more than 2 years old. But in my case, where it was over 8 years old, where I didn't fly, I didn't need to, didn't renew it. Actually, I think I was just too lazy or something. I don't know what I did. But to make a
Yeah.
long story short, now I have to do it all over again. But since I have a new picture and I have my old passport, I don't need to have my birth certificate. They know who I am.
Okay. In town here, where do you go to do yours?
I'm doing right. Everybody does it at the Annex building, which is right near the courthouse. It's the one that faces 441. So there's the courthouse parking lot faces 441, and the Annex building faces 4. It's a separate building. So I think it's 2-story. It's a
Okay.
short building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they take your picture there, or do you take a picture with you?
You take the picture with you. AAA, if you have a AAA membership, takes it free.
Yeah.
Walgreens, I think, is a couple of bucks. But anyway, it was quick, painless. I walked in there. They closed at 5:30. AAA. I walked in about 5:15. They didn't care.
And you need it now for Canada.
Oh, Canada.
That's what they say. I haven't done yet. I mean, I used to go to Canada when I was younger, but I haven't since.
We
they
ought to
changed
start
the
build a
rules.
wall between us and Canada. We need the wall bad. No, I'm all in favor of Trump. Believe it or not, I think that wall idea is a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't mind people coming over. I have great neighbors that are Puerto Rican. That I have some that are Mexican. It's no big deal.
I was against the wall.
The big deal is that people just can't cross over and collect unemployment. They've never even worked here, and they're collecting.
Well, then we should enforce the
Unemployment,
laws.
Workman's comp. They click.
We should enforce the laws.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna do that.
Okay, but I was against it. I changed my mind because the laws are what the laws are.
Yeah.
And the men, and I guess there's some women who are their job is to enforce those laws at the line.
Yep, at the borders. Yep.
They say their job is easier when there is a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, okay, well, what do I know? I don't do it. So I was against it. But then when I heard them talk, I heard them on Dana's show. I said, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there should be a wall.
Yeah. Well, we have sensors that are in the ground that can sense motion. And it has to be fairly close. But if a truck's going by, like a bus or something, that's very easy to sense. There are cameras that can sense for motion. So anything moving across that screen will set off a motion detector and notify whoever's not looking at that monitor, even at this time, that it turns on automatically. The camera will start transmitting. But if it's an open field, you'll catch everything from a coyote to who knows what.
Yeah.
So by having a wall, if something moves on our side of the wall in an area where there's nothing, a coyote didn't cross over. Some wild dog, didn't get there. Mm-hmm. So.
And my brother has a friend whose father-in-law is filling out all the paperwork to become an American citizen from Holland.
Uh-huh.
And he's just got a few more months to go, and then he'll be a citizen.
There you go.
It's taken him a few years, but he follows the rules. So,
exactly.
You got to follow the rules.
You know what they used to say in New York? You cross the Brooklyn Bridge, you get to Brooklyn. You cross the Manhattan Bridge, you get to Manhattan. You go through the Holland Tunnel. What do you get?
You're not in Holland.
You go to Jersey. What is that? Who came up with that?
Right. Who called that?
You ready for the next phone call?
Oh, yes.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim, Larry,
Yes.
Robin. I would like to say that all you have to do is go back to the Bible and read about the walls of Jericho. I mean, walls work. How about Hadrian's Wall by the Romans? How about the Great Wall of China? A lot of other walls that were built to keep people out, i.e. Hadrian's Wall. That was to keep the nomadic hordes from Scotland out of England. And the only way it worked. And yet we have a group of people in this country, and they are totally against it, only because I think the president is for it. And I think they're in violation of their oaths of office myself, because this is to protect our country and the American people, which, according to everything you see on the news, we need protection from crazies and a lot of other illegals that just come across the border into this country. There's no reason why places like El Paso and a few other border towns can't still operate the same way, except that they have to go through an access point or a gate or a door. But there's that, I know that I've seen that, where the Mexican people would come across during the day and go back in the evening to their homes, and etc. But to have things going the way they are today, it is absolutely horrendous. And it is a shame that we do need a wall after almost, I forget when Texas became the United States, but all these years, all of a sudden now we do need a wall. Well, you understand there's also another horde of people going through Guatemala and Mexico to see if they can invade our country. To me, this is an invasion. But anyway, besides the technology, there's nothing like a war. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think everybody's in favor of open borders, but the problem is it's being abused. You know, open borders would be great if everybody from the different countries mentioned, El Salvador, you know, you name them, Mexico, would identify themselves as that. In other words, I'm a Mexican citizen. I'm here, and you know. But what happens? They come and they want to use all the citizenship capabilities up over here. All the free, you know, get food, housing,
medical.
I saw something the other day on One America News that said, to date, and remember this is only January the 18th today. To date, we have spent $26 billion on illegal immigrants.
Oh.
And health care.
In 2019?
Wow.
Yes, so far.
Just in 18 days.
Wow. Yep. That's not right.
Because they come over, they go to the hospital. Remember, hospitals can't turn them away.
Right.
And, you know, you're not allowed to ask this, you're not allowed to ask that.
Wait a minute. But the government's closed and we can't pay air traffic controllers?
Right. But you can pay, the hospitals are accepting patients.
But you can't pay these poor people that are trying to earn a living for their family.
And yet, if you are an American citizen, and let's say you're down and out, and you go to the hospital for something, they third degree you.
Exactly.
You know, I told this one guy, he does speak Spanish, but he's an American citizen. I just go in there and just speak Spanish and say, I no hablo inglés and blah blah. You know, they'll take care of you. They'll take care of you.
You're going to a trade show in Orlando.
22nd.
What is one of the things that you hope to see when you're down there?
Yeah, well, there's always new distributors that pop up, but I'm going for the manufacturers.
What kind of distributors?
Such as electrical devices.
Oh, I thought you said nude.
No.
Oh.
New distributors that distribute.
Ah, okay.
Nude would be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be head down early. So, you know, the early worm gets that. So, anyway, we lost my train of thought. So I'm going to say, manufacturers, Cisco, Juniper, all the people that do low voltage like servers and switches and things like that. Yeah.
So if a company has different kinds of boxes that house the servers, are they easy to exchange if one of those boxes goes on the fritz?
Yes. And normally, like in our case, we have backup everything. So when we buy a server, we buy two. So we clone them in the sense that if one dies, the other one takes over automatic.
Oh.
So they call them hot swappable. You can swap the data even while both of them are still running. So everything I have is almost totally redundant. But if I have 5 of something, I may only have 1 spare. You know, because the chances of all 5 or even 2 going bad are, you know, few and far between.
So when you've got a community like Ocala Palms, are all the servers in a building there, or do you have it in your office?
We have it in our office right now because our office has a generator and a big UPS. So the UPS will hold the whole building up.
Big brown truck?
Yeah. Now you got me. Uninterruptible power supply.
Okay.
So it's got batteries, banks and banks and banks of batteries.
Oh.
And so and we operate off of the batteries 24/7. And what the electricity does is keep the batteries charged. So when the power goes off, we don't have to switch. We're already on the UPS. But then all it takes is 7 seconds for the generator to kick in. And then the UPS comes offline and the generator runs the whole building.
Oh, my.
So with that backup, we have it off-site.
And can you do solar too? I mean, is that the next phase?
We could do solar, but solar is the UPS was much cheaper for us. The electricity. Now, if we put enough panels in, we could probably power 1 or 2 racks. But we have like 16 racks.
Oh my!
We have a lot. We consume a lot of power.
Oh my!
A lot of power.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't really consume a lot of power. I don't think.
No, you're off the grid. Nobody even knows you exist. Larry, who?
I don't use much.
Well, when you go to England then to go to the show over there, do they have the same kind of setup for, you know, their servers and everything, or are they different?
No, they all have the same. So a data center basically is universal. In other words, they're all built somewhat the same.
Oh.
Only difference is some of them actually have cold water pipes running through their ceiling in the data center, and I don't want water in my data center. If I ever sprung a leak, then I'd lose all my servers and such.
Oh,
but
yeah.
those chillers, those cold water, of course, condensate, give off coolness, and that cools the head in, so you don't need a whole lot of air conditioning. They also have different gases that you can run through there, or act as chillers. There's all kind of ways to keep the data center cool, and all kind of ways to keep the data center powered. We're not that sophisticated in the sense money-wise, so we chose the cheapest route to go.
Well, how cold do you have to be to keep the?
We maintain 70 degrees in there at all times.
Oh, okay.
So it's not real cool, except if you're in there for long periods of time, then you will be getting chilled. Mm-hmm. So most of our guys get in there and work a couple hours and leave.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What's that story we had about a thermostat? Oh, we had a thermostat story the other day. This was a good thermostat story.
Okay.
Was it Jersey or Wisconsin? It was one of the.
I can't remember.
I think it was in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. This couple had a malfunctioning thermostat, and they didn't really have enough money to get it fixed, so they were really cold. This was New Jersey, and they decided just get in the car. It's got a heater. Let's just go to some stores, just get out of the heat and pick up a blanket or whatever. So they bought a scratch off? They bought a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was scratch off or not. Anyway, they won $750,000. First thing they probably did was fix that thermostat, right?
So when you hear that, it'd be a cold day, and
In Jersey.
so and they actually use that on the
Yeah.
cold day. They say
Yeah.
it works.
Got another phone call.
yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Hi, good morning, Jim. This is Sonny again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about the technology, and I think it was 1993. My son built his own computer, and I had a terabyte of capability, or whatever it is. I don't know, but my son knows all this stuff. And his whole computer, you could see it, was like liquid cooled. It had a blue liquid in there flowing around, and the various components to keep it cool. I don't know if it was for show more than anything else, but it was very interesting to see.
Yeah.
You mentioned the cooling, so I figured I'd chime in with that. But to me, I'm technology, challenged. I'm electronically challenged, but I don't know what to tell you.
But
I'm happy with that situation anyway. But have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I was going to say to Sonny, because I saw Sonny one time walking into Best Buy years ago, and I was waiting. It was Christmas season, and I had a gift from my son, and it was too big to put in my car because it was a sound system. So I had to call my son up and say, I hate to tell you that I got you a gift before it's Christmas, but you got to pick it up because it won't fit in my car.
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting on the sidewalk waiting for my son, Sonny's coming in, and he's returning his camera because the stupid thing doesn't take film. And he's returning it. I don't know, Sonny, if you remember this and that. But that was then. Now is now. So while he's saying he's
Technology challenged.
right, I think not. I think he has
he's
come ahead like all
Full
of us.
circle,
Yeah,
full
maybe
circle.
maybe we're a little bit late. I'm late too with all this stuff
Yeah.
Me
too.
too.
But
Joe's got an interesting radio. I know you guys have seen it, but it's clear plastic radio.
Yeah.
So you get to see the moving parts and all the gears.
I
and
love
it.
radios.
Yeah, it's
I'm a
interesting.
radio geek. I just like them. I don't know why. So when I retire, I'm just
You
gonna
like
listen to the
looking at them
radio.
or listening to them? Both.
Listening to them.
Yeah.
I'm a radio fan.
I am too. I am too.
When you go over to England, are you going to have to take different kinds of plugs and things over there to charge up your?
Yes, they make.
Electronic
I have a
devices?
universal, you might say, charger that has the multiple adapters, so I can plug it into 110 or 220 or 208 or 277. Plug it into anything, it puts out the right voltage. And then when you say plug it into anything, it comes with multiple different kinds of heads, and those heads will fit anything in any international electrical outlet. And it's only like $18
Wait a minute.
at Best Buy.
Isn't that a sign of the apocalypse? Something with multiple heads?
Could be.
Well, why is their electrical stuff different from ours? Or why is ours different from theirs since they were first?
Well, actually, some of their stuff was better than ours. We had certain lines of resolution on our TV, and they have more lines of resolution. Now all that's gone away with the digital stuff. Everybody has joined down, but voltage wise, every country has a different voltage standard. I mean, when I say every country, I don't mean there's 3,000 voltage standards. What I mean is there might be 10 voltage standards across all the countries of the world.
Wow.
They just chose that because it was easy for them, or maybe they bought it surplus, and they bought it from Nigeria.
They also drive on the left side of the road.
They do.
What's
all that?
You better be careful driving. You could get mixed up.
I'm taking the tube.
Thank you, Jim. And anybody who wants to call Jim can call you at...
Yes, 854-9795.
This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There's a report that Special Counsel Robert Mueller has evidence that President Trump told his former attorney to lie to Congress.
BuzzFeed cites 2 federal law enforcement officials as saying President Trump directed Michael Cohen to lie to Congress about plans for a Trump Tower in Moscow. Cohen admitted to 1 count of lying to Congress last November. President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, said, "If you believe Cohen, I can get you a great deal on the Brooklyn Bridge."
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in D.C. Fox meteorologist Janice Dean says more than 100 million Americans have a winter storm in the forecast.
The Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Northeast, New England, we could have blizzard conditions this weekend. The jackpot of snow is going to be across the interior Northeast and New England. That rain-snow mix line is going to be right around New York City. So wherever that kind of hovers, it could cut back on some of the snow totals. We still don't really have a grasp on those snow totals. It's going to be kind of a range.
This is Fox News.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because Lowe's has the power tool brands pros count on every day. Come in now during our Pro Stock Up and Save event and get 15% off all Irwin tools and accessories. But hurry, it's for one day only. Plus, save 5% on eligible purchases every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. So, Pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. Offer ends 1/18 while supplies last. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
The antioxidants in Welch's Concord grape juice aren't just antioxidant. Nah, they hate oxidants. Welch's antioxidants track down those nasty oxidants, find their leader, and beat it to a sniveling oxidant pulp in front of all the other oxidants so they slink away like scared puppies and you never have to worry about them ever again. That's a Welch's antioxidant. The world's toughest antioxidants. Welch's, tough as grapes.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. A 47-year-old music teacher in Bellevue has been arrested for allegedly touching a male student in an inappropriate manner. An 85-year-old driver is out of jail on bond after authorities say he followed a driver to his neighborhood and started shooting at him on Wednesday evening here in Marion County. Ocala police are investigating the suspicious death of a 61-year-old man whose body was found in a tent in a wooded area in northwest Ocala. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis criticized the legislature's implementation of a medical marijuana law. DeSantis wants a new law by mid-March that will end a ban on smokable medical marijuana. The moon, earth, and sun will line up Sunday night for the only total lunar eclipse of the year. At the same time, the moon will be closer to Earth and appear as a supermoon. And Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, an upcoming Cars-inspired attraction, will open at Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 31st.